Welcome back to Unfuck Your Money. This is your host, Nadz, somatic practitioner and financial empowerment coach. How are you doing today, my friend? I hope you're doing well. I was thinking out loud the other day, and my partner just happened to be in the room with me. I was thinking about my anxious part and how I'm actually proud of her. Yes, maybe she is super hyper vigilant. Super hyper vigilant. Yes, that's how I would word it. Yes, she can be a pain in the ass, but she gets shit done. My anxious part worries about everything. She even pre worries at times. But thanks to her, I was able to move continents, buy a house while the market was hot, and manage to find myself medical care even when my doctors were pretty negligent. The thing is, by practicing my root healing method, I learned how to listen to my anxious part, take her into perspective or like take her perspective on things rather, and lead myself and my actions from a place of confidence, clarity, and balance as opposed to a place of scarcity and fear. Whenever you act out impulsively with money, maybe you avoid it, maybe you emotionally spend, maybe you are an overgiver, or maybe you hold on to it too tightly, I would like for you to consider this perspective. Perhaps a part of you is using money to act out to protect you. Because in reality, we all have different parts. And when we encounter trauma, especially as children, when we were at our most vulnerable, some of our parts become burdened and take on protective roles to protect and defend us in tough situations. Just as my anxious part thinks it keeps me safe and alive when it worries and pre worries about everything and nothing, and just as my rebellious part keeps me safe from harm by lashing out at anyone who sounds critical, like my dad used to be, some of our protective parts carry out their perspective or their protective duties using money. Yes, a part of you uses shopping to soothe you or distract you from pain, boredom, or from the monotony of life. So, over the past 5 years as a money coach, I've actually identified five protector parts that are responsible for emotional spending. We've got the pleaser, the painkiller, the prover, the punisher, and the player. So, the pleaser is that part of you that spends money just to belong, just to be accepted, just to feel loved by others. And the painkiller is the part of you that uses money to soothe any uncomfortable emotions, any bouts of sadness or grief that you haven't processed yet. The prover spends money. It's usually your inner teenager. That's the part of you that spends money to prove that you're powerful, to prove that you are actually free, to prove that you're uncontrollable. Sometimes when I feel very trapped or controlled by life, by the schedule, by routine, by just the monotony of life, my prover just lashes out by buying things just to prove that I'm free, that I'm a strong person, that I deserve respect and agency. And then we've got the Punisher. That's the part of you that comes online after what I call a spending hangover. So a spending hangover, when you like go out and you just like, you go out with your partner or your friend and you end up like buying lunch and then buying this and then buying that. And all at the end of the day, you're like, oh my God, I spent $400 and it was all on things that you didn't even account for before. That is when the punisher comes online. So the spending happens, you feel that regret and remorse. The punisher is that part of you that comes online and reins things in, that goes, okay, no more, you're gonna be good. And it kind of stifles your life force energy. So spending money isn't life, but when we impose something strict like a budget, and we're already feeling dysregulated in our nervous system, that can actually cause further dysregulation and further stress, which can later on, within a few days, sometimes maximum a week, it can bring on more overspending. So the cycle can look like the punisher comes online and you start restricting yourself to be good, and then that prover part of you will come online to prove that you're actually free and you cannot be restricted or controlled. And then we've got the player. The player is that part of you that really takes over your wallet when your life is boring. Like, seriously, when our life is boring, when we are lacking play, when we are lacking some sense of like adventure, we might find ourselves swiping our card or buying something like an adventure or an experience or going out just to alleviate that sense of boredom and monotony. And there is nothing wrong with spending. There is absolutely nothing wrong with spending. What I would like to bring your attention to is that when spending creates financial chaos in our life, that is when we start mistrusting ourselves. We stop trusting ourselves with money and we start creating, because experience is going to create a belief that we cannot be trusted with money. And that's when we feel disempowered. And I don't want that for myself. I don't want that for you either. Right. So when these parts come online, what's actually happening is that we have an unmet core need. Okay. These parts, they're parts of your psyche: the pleaser, the painkiller, the prover, the punisher, and the player. They're parts of your psyche. And when they go unchecked for very long, we find ourselves maybe in debt and emotional spending cycles and behind on our money goals. Most financial gurus here would tell you to tighten your budget or delay gratification or enforce no spend days, like here and there throughout the week, or even limit your exposure to temptation. These are good tips, but without getting to the root cause of emotional spending, we'd still be like just spinning in circles. And in my new program, Empowered Spender, we will go there to the root of emotional spending. You're going to learn why you are subconsciously terrified of money, why you react through fight, flight, or freeze, aka emotional spending, every time your money hits your account, like why you're subconsciously terrified of money, and why you act out with it. You're also going to learn my burn your budget method that's going to help you save and spend and actually feel good about spending money, because we don't want to live our lives not spending money. That's not fun. But what I want you to do is understand how much is safe for you to spend without it affecting your sense of stability, without it creating chaos in your life. That is a very important distinction, because when you buy something, your degree of enjoyment of that thing is going to be very impacted if you feel really crappy about yourself for buying it. Okay, I don't know about you, but that's me. When I buy something and I've dipped into my credit card or I've dipped into savings, sometimes it's okay, but most of the time I just feel guilty about it, right? I just feel like, oh my God, why did I do that? I really like this thing that I bought, but I don't know why I did that, right? And then when you do that over and over and over again, it just ruins the fun. Okay, so when you learn my burn your budget method, you will actually learn how to earmark money for adulting goals, your rent, your mortgage, your bills, and all that. And then the leftover money, that is going to be your like fuck it bucket, your spend it, burn it, do whatever the fuck you want with it. And when you start earmarking money away to meet each one of your core needs, because there is a system that I teach, a framework that I teach, each bucket is going to meet a core need. That's when actually money starts feeling good. That's when you start feeling more and more empowered with it. You're going to also learn how to heal your inner child so it no longer takes over your finances through these erratic spending sprees. So, through financial healing, you are going to learn that even though your past may have been rough, your future can actually hold the financial success that you very well deserve. You deserve financial success, not later, not when you make more money, now, because a lot of times we think when we make more money, we'll be more organized. But honestly, when you make more money on top of already there disorganization, it's gonna just feel like you're trying to fill a vase that has holes in it. So now is a very good time to actually understand what is happening from a nervous system perspective when money hits your account, why you actually overreact with it, and how can you actually streamline it and understand how to regulate these parts of you that make you overspend, that take over your wallet, because we all have these, but we need to understand them so they don't actually drive the bus, so they don't actually take over and create chaos. We want to spend money, or we actually want to manage our finances from a place of empowerment, from a place of balance, because this is life. I don't know. Maybe we've got like 5, 7, 8 decades left on Earth. I don't see money disappearing anytime soon. It could. I don't know. That's fine. But the thing is, like, it's around now, and it's really important for us to learn about it so that we can know how to manipulate it and manage it in a way that facilitates and enhances our life, as opposed to living a diminished life because of this thing called money. Anyway, enough for me for today. I love you and leave you. Empowered Spender is my program. It's self-paced. It's made up of five lessons. It's pretty awesome. Everybody who has done it is actually very happy with it. So grab it. The link is in the show notes. And I'll see you next time on Unfuck Your Money. Bye for now.